And now I would like to bring Hanna Hopko. We hear a lot about this bottom-up push, the actual involvement of civil society. But what is the cutting edge of civil society? What it is that it really, what is the added value in this particular moment of Ukraine's history? How you see it? You've been at the forefront of Ukraine your reanimation package of reform, for example. At that time, you saw this is what Ukraine needs. What's next in Ukraine's civil society journey and recovery?
Thank you, Orisa, honorable guest participants. So let me start from expressing my gratitude to all our international partners, donors, and international community for being with us, and the host, and of course today, and when we are also joining with greetings to the American nation celebrating the 1st of July. Also, I think it's really important to see, like we've seen Rammstein coalition leading with the US, a second wider than Rammstein coalition to help Ukraine to rebuild back better. And I would like to wish the coalition of more than 140 countries which adopted the UN resolution when the full-scale escalation started, and in UN there was big resolution. So I think this success of Ukraine is geopolitically important for the whole world, because Ukraine victory is a powerful signal to authoritarian regime in Indo-Pacific region. Also, Ukraine victory is a part of window of opportunity for Moldova, Georgia, and Belarus. So this is why let me start from geopolitics, because trust matters, and the more we receive from our partners, especially weapons, because all our activists, they became experts in javelins, HIMARS, NASAMS, Abrams, Leopards, and all heavy artillery, because the more and faster we receive heavy artillery, the safer world will become from devastation, which will stop at Ukrainian territory and not moving beyond. So I understand that probably it's not the right time to talk about weapons, but faster Ukrainian victory, faster we will start our reconstruction. So this is first message. Second is about trust. Among the key components of trust, of course, is transparency and accountability. And as Orisa mentioned, after the Euromaidan, we established the reanimation package of reforms, and together with the best, the most reputable civil society, we were trying to change the system. Probably we were not successful because we couldn't avoid, together with the government, the full-scale war, and together with international community, because the success would have been happen if we could prevent the full-scale war, genocidal war in the 21st century. So I think it's really important by now preparing the recovery, reconstruction, rebuilding plan, because it's another powerful signal to totalitarian regime. But coming back to the role of civil society, from March, when we established the International Center for Ukrainian Victory together with Anti-Corruption Action Center and Opora, we are contributing a lot to Ukrainian victory, from weapons, from sanctions, including Kirill, and I wish to see more tougher action in Ukraine against the Russian Orthodox Church, and thanks to UK for imposing sanctions against Kirill, and also candidate status. So we joined as a part of national team to the governmental efforts, and I'm very thankful to the EU representative for this. Also, I would say a geopolitical decision, because Ukraine is not considered anymore as a buffer zone. It's now, and I hope in the future, member of the EU. But now our key mission is to monitor the political leadership of our country, the implementation of statements. And what I would like to see, the faster appointment of head of special anti-corruption prosecutor. And actually, I don't understand what is the reason why country still hasn't appointed this, because I think it's key. Also, if we are talking about trust, we are talking about billions or even trillion to rebuild our country. So trust is key. So these 7 important criteria, since we contributed a lot, the country received candidate status, now the civil society will contribute a lot to implement the roadmap and actually to prepare for next stages and to become a membership of the EU. And also, what is really important, I will not focus on Marshall Plan because in this audience, people remember 2017, 2019 being head of the Foreign Affairs Committee with Lithuanian delegation, 2 prime ministers. We were advocating Marshall Plan at that time. Some people were very skeptical, saying like, why they are advocating Marshall Plan for Ukraine. So with Andrius Kubilius, who is now a member of the European Parliament and special rapporteur on Russia, we are also discussing about recovery plan. But why? Recovery plan with successful decentralization reform and inclusiveness and engagement of mayors. This is a powerful message to, or this is a part of our strategy, how to de-imperialize Russian Federation. Because decentralization reform with destroyed vertical power, this is something what in Russia we see this when Moscow is grabbing the natural resources from Tatarstan, Yakutia, and others. So for us, decentralization reform and engagement of mayors is key. And of course, I would like to see in this room, mayor of Chernihiv, where is mayor of Chernihiv, where is mayor of Mykolaiv city? So I think this is really important to see these mayors, because it's great that our minister just showed us a picture with 4 like frontline regions, support regions, and Chernihiv region like a deoccupied region. When we visited Washington, D.C. just recently, and we had a productive meeting with Erin, and we had with us the secretary of Chernihiv City Council, and he was the one who mentioned all the problems that Chernihiv city is now facing, preparing to the winter season. So I think this is important that representatives of communities, they are taking ownership and
I see
telling
the mayor
about their
of Lviv over
problems.
there. He just entered here at the back of the room. We were just talking about mayors. Welcome.
So and why?
So we have at least one
So
mayor
this is-
here, Hanna. Well, that's great. You saved the conference, you know. Thanks.
But
very
I
much,
think
because-
still,
Yes.
with all love we have to Lviv,
Yeah.
and I'm from Lviv, but actually Ukraine and all regions is not just Lviv. I think
Of course,
Poltava, Chernihiv, Zhytomyr, and all donors also have to refocus their visits and pay attention to Volyn, Lutsk, and others, which is really important. And let me finish.
Yeah.
So why the visit of mayors to different European cities is so important? For example, Rotterdam, which was destroyed after the World War II. So now I think the wonderful ideas how to rebuild Mariupol could come from Rotterdam and other cities. So I think, and even Warsaw also. So there could be many powerful examples. But my message is the ownership, of course, Ukraine's state, national level, key strategic sectors, space industry, defense industry, and others. But ownership at the local level should go from local leaders, mayors. And I do hope at the next conference, or USAID with JICA and other foreign partners, they will organize conference inviting mayor first, and they will navigate how they should go, not just, because I think we have to build a synergy between the national government and local communities, and the destroyed vertical power we used to have after Euromaidan should not be back. Because we are talking about building back better, not worse.